Hit and run crashes are on the rise in Florida. In fact, nearly 70,000 incidents were recorded last year. Captain Nancy Rasmussen is here to discuss the Florida Highway Patrol's new program aimed at curbing this trend. Welcome to the show, Captain.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the Hit and Run campaign. What's that all about?
Well, we started it in February, and our aim is to not only educate our troopers in enforcing the hit and run laws, but also to educate the motorists on what to do if they are involved in a crash and what the consequences are if they leave from the crash. So it's kind of like we're going to be out there just working and hitting everybody for this campaign.
So do you have specific goals that you want to make sure you meet?
Well, our number one goal is to reduce the number of hit and run crashes because we are on a rise. In the last couple of years, we've seen a rise in the hit and run crashes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a proactive approach to it and see if we can make a difference within our enforcement and education efforts.
Okay. Now, what do you do when you are in a car accident?
When you're in a crash, you're supposed to stay at the scene, of course, and if you leave, that makes it a hit and run. But you need to make sure that the other parties are not injured, and if they are, you can render aid as to what you can render. And also, you need to exchange your information, like driver's license information, insurance information, the vehicle information, so you fulfill the requirements set by law. So staying at the scene and making sure that you exchange the information and call local law enforcement is definitely going to help.
Now, have different agencies come together in this campaign?
Yes, we've actually partnered with the Sheriff's Association and the Chiefs of Police. So basically every law enforcement agency in the state of Florida has partnered with us to get the word out to educate everybody about what we're doing.
And are there specific ways that you're trying to reach people? Is it maybe social media or?
We are using the social media. We have our website has its own hit and run page, so it'll show you exactly what to do to stay. We also Facebooked it and Twittered it, so we're new into the tweeting and the Facebook aspect of it, so we're getting a lot of that. And then if a story happens somewhere within the troops, then they email it to us, and then our Twitter people tweet it and make sure that whoever's looking is looking out for the vehicles, and anybody can give information on those crashes, we can get that information out there to the public.
That's great. Now, not only are hit and run crashes dangerous and just morally wrong, but you do face penalties if you leave a crash, right?
And it depends on what happens in the crash. If it's a hit and run that involves a fatality, it's a felony, and it's up to 30 years in jail. So you can spend time in jail in a state correction facility if you hit and run and it's a fatality. There's the lesser penalties if it's just an injury. I believe it's up to 5 years in a state facility. And if it's just property damage, then it's a misdemeanor. So it's up to 60 days in jail. So any time you leave, you're making yourself a criminal. So, and that's what we're trying to say. If you stay, you work the crash like a regular crash, and if you leave, you make yourself a criminal. So we're trying to get that word out.
Okay, now very, very quickly, the increase in hit and run accidents, do you know, is there a reason for the increase that you guys know of?
We see a trend of people who are impaired driving leave the crash scenes, people who don't have driver's license, like their license is suspended or revoked, or people who are just scared. And the scared people are who we're trying to reach because they're leaving because they don't know what to do. So now we're getting the word out saying you need to stop, you need to make sure that you fulfill the requirements, and you're not going to break the law if you stay. So that's who we're trying to reach.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you so much for your information and for joining us here.
You're welcome.
I'm Alex Yarmus. You're watching Comcast Newsmakers. Have a great day.